Before there were watches or towers or ticking hands, time was measured by the sun, by shadows and the sound of bells. But in medieval Europe, something extraordinary happened. Monks began measuring time with machines. In the 13th century, monasteries were not just places of prayer. They were centers of knowledge and precision. Monastic life revolved around strict schedules, 7 prayers a day, every day, at exact hours. But how could you wake at 2 a.m. for matins if you couldn't see the sun? That's where the mechanical clock began. Driven by the need for accuracy, monks began experimenting with water clocks, candle clocks, and eventually geared mechanisms that would become the first mechanical clocks. One of the earliest records comes from Richard of Wallingford, an English abbot in the 1300s, who designed an elaborate astronomical clock for his abbey. These early clocks didn't have faces or hands. They rang bells at the right time, marking hours through sound, not sight. Imagine a world without clocks or a watch. How would you tell the time? You might check your phone, look at the position of the sun, or maybe glance at a nearby clock tower. But for much of human history, keeping track of time was a challenge. Without precise tools, people relied on the sun, moon, and stars. Shadows cast by the sun were used to estimate the hour. Sundials were placed in prominent locations so that anyone who saw them could roughly tell the time. But this method had limitations. When it was cloudy or dark, sundials were useless. People needed a more reliable way to measure time, especially as cities grew, and more precise timekeeping became essential. What started as a tool for prayer slowly evolved into public timekeeping. By the late 14th century, town squares across Europe began installing massive clock towers. Time was no longer tied to sunlight. It became mechanical, reliable, and shared. And it all began with monks. Their pursuit of spiritual order led to a technological revolution. This is the legacy of the medieval mind, where faith and science worked in harmony, and time itself became something humanity could command. The invention of the mechanical clock is a testament to human ingenuity. It marked a pivotal moment in our history, and it all began with monks who sought to measure time so that they could better serve their God. These men of the cloth became the first scientists, laying the foundation for modern timekeeping. From the simple water clocks of antiquity to the intricate gear systems of the medieval mind, the quest to understand and control time has always been a driving force in human history. This is the story of the mechanical clock. But what stories will we tell next? Perhaps the story of the printing press or the very first computers. Stay tuned to find out.